Kaufman is alive. I look at comic books new and old. Today I'm looking at all the new comics I picked up at the comic book shop today on New Comic Book Day. Every Wednesday. I haven't flipped through any of these books yet, except for flipping through them to see if I wanted to pick them up in the shop. So I haven't read them yet. So you'll get to see them all for the first time with me. I picked up some back issues and some new comic books. So I'll start off with the old comic books, the back issues. I picked up a couple out of the quarter bin, which was cool. They're only a quarter because they've got the actual price sticker right there on the actual cover, which is unfortunate, but I don't really resell comics or anything, so it doesn't bother me too much. I just picked these up because of the artwork and the creative team here. So the first one is New Mutants number 20. These both came out in 1984, actually, oddly enough. And got Bill Sienkiewicz doing the artwork here, pretty obviously. If you're not familiar with his work, I'd highly recommend go checking him out. You know, prolific work on Moon Knight and Daredevil, Batman, and New Mutants, of course. I used to think his name was Bill Sienkiewicz until I actually heard someone else actually pronounce it correctly, but it's Bill Sienkiewicz. So, but he's got a real unique style of artwork. There's really no one like him. Many have tried but failed to duplicate his style. It's really one of a kind. I always love the way that he draws Cannonball. I had a character that I'd create when I was a kid who had the same style of power that Cannonball does there. Always influenced me. Really awesome looking cover too. I love the cowboy in the corner panel there. Then I picked up Cerebus number 61. Now I'll let you in on a little secret. I may try and seem like a know-it-all here on my channel, but I've actually never picked up a Cerebus comic book. So this is definitely kind of a blind spot for me in comics, but I definitely could not pass up picking this up for only a quarter. So we got Dave Sim. He's the artist and creator of this book. And kind of a prolific comic book. If I can use the word prolific like a million times in this video. But highly influential comic book, independent comic. I've seen some videos and read some things on Dave Sim, but I've never actually read this comic book at all. So this is the first Cerebus comic book I've ever read or picked up. I haven't actually read it yet, obviously, like I said. So really cool face there. And this issue is multiple stories, so it's a bunch of short stories collected in one, which is pretty cool. Interesting cover here too, just the shadow of a building. Can't even hardly tell where the characters are. So I'm looking forward to reading this. I'll come out with a review of it. Just look at all the cross hatching. It's just really awesome in here. Then I got in the dollar bin, I picked up Ultimate End issue 3, Battle World Secret Wars. This is a Brian Bendis written comic book, and Mark Bagley does the artwork. I thought the creative team on here was pretty good, and I've heard that the upcoming Avengers, Doomsday, and Secret Wars movies are going to be based loosely on this era of Marvel in this Secret Wars. And this is just a tie-in. And like I said, I like Mark Bagley's artwork. I like the Captain America, Spider-Man crossover here. I think this is like a miniseries within a miniseries here. It's like Secret Wars, Battle World, Ultimate End. So I don't have a lot of comics from this era. So another blind spot, much like Cerebus. So Just kind of a cool thing, just a dollar book. And then I got Savage Dragon number 116. This was in the back bins. I've been picking up Savage Dragon here and there from my local comic book shop. It's my favorite comic book. I'm trying to collect every issue. This one's in really nice shape. Almost feels like it's hardly ever been opened. We've got Eric Larson. He's the artist and writer of every issue of Savage Dragon. We got Smasher here. Jennifer Murphy. She's the wife of Savage Dragon. Just some cool artwork. Savage Dragon, kind of like Cerebus in the fact that it just follows this one character, episodically each issue. We get a new chapter in the story. Long-running comic book series, so Savage Dragon 116. I'll get on to the new comics I picked up today. I got Violator number 6 of 6. This was a $5.99 book by Image. This is the final issue of the Violator miniseries. It's been written by Mark Andreyko, and every issue's had a different artist. So this artist is Vaughn Randall, who I really only know from covers from Spawn. I'm not sure if I've read any comics where he's done all the interiors. Maybe I have, I'm just not remembering it, but some real knockout artists in every issue, and I really like the writing in this book too. It's basically following Violator throughout the ages as we basically just learn his origin stories. He's the Violator demon himself is able to travel into different skins and use them as hosts basically, and looks like he's finally found his clown host, which is the one we kind of all know him from. But in previous issues he wore all sorts of different skin suits, including like Rasputin. So they're kind of adding some historical context to everything Violator's done. But a little bit expensive are these comic books, but there's no ads, and they're like at least 40 pages every issue. So I'd recommend picking up this series, in a trade or single issues if you get a chance. And I got Spawn number 362. Another Spawn book from Image, the only other Image book I bought. It's written by Todd McFarlane, the creator of Spawn, and Brett Booth on the arts, which is my favorite part of this. I love this great opening splash page here of these bad guys. I just did a review of the previous issue of this, and I've been doing all the recent issues of Spawn, so go check those out if you haven't yet. This guy looks a lot like Deadpool or Deathstroke. He just looks like a reskinned Deadpool, really. But I love Brett Booth's artwork. He's one of my favorite working artists today. Like all the little metal, all the little lines in his mask here to make it look metal. That's the kind of stuff I really love. And Brett Booth's the best at it. So we got Spawn battling all these guys in this issue. Can't go wrong there. What they set up in the previous issue, we're getting paid off here. We've got this I think it's Mandarin Spawn is who this is. Who's a villain we saw like a year or two ago, and they haven't really made a move in a while, so love seeing, powerful supervillains in Spawn rather than him just kind of being a street level character, because he is so powerful. Spawn, that is. Oh man, so the big reveal he finds out this, if it is Mandarin Spawn, I could be wrong, but he finds out it's his wife underneath the helmet. So, plot twist. Interested to read this one. I'll definitely have a review coming out soon. We'll look at the Marvel comics I picked up today. I just got 2 X-Men comics. The most recent issues of Uncanny X-Men and the regular X-Men title. They're both part of this X-Manhunt crossover that's going on currently. So, Uncanny X-Men number 11. This is part 1 of the X-Manhunt. And these are both $4.99 comic books. So, not a big fan of that. There's no real special reason for these to be more than $3.99, I feel like. And, you know, I don't know if you guys have been on Twitter in the last day or two, but there's been a lot of chatter among working creatives about how Marvel's page rates have been really terrible, and a lot of these artists are starting to speak out. While at the same time, we've got Marvel raising the prices of their actual comic books while not giving page rate increases to their artists. So, kind of interesting when you think about it. But some cool artwork in here. I really like this artwork so far. That first opening splash page is really cool. We're on the Shi'ar ship, I think, maybe. It says Ryan Sector, Phobos System. Well, we're definitely in space, so... let's see who the artist on here is. Javier Garrón, and we got Gail Simone writing, of course. But Xavier has escaped, apparently. Which is weird because right at the end of Raid on Grey Malkin, we had the last X-Men crossover that just ended. We had Professor X saying he's going to stay in prison, but maybe that was just a cop-out. He had other plans. Who knows? We'll find out. But I'm not really looking forward to this crossover too much. This is super goofy. Got Sentinel dogs or a Sentinel family here. I have no idea what's going on. Looks like they might be tying that Sarah Gaunt, Charles Xavier storyline into all of this as well. That was the first story arc of this Uncanny X-Men series by Gail Simone. But, got the original X-Men here. Clearly in Xavier's mind or something, right? Or no, wait, that's Rogue. And Jubilee and Logan and Nightcrawler. So, that's kind of cool. It's silly, but it's kind of cool. I like the costumes. But what I was saying was the previews of this storyline didn't really interest me at all. Xavier being on the run, but we'll see how it goes. I've been collecting every issue of the X-Men. I mean, if they're making an X-Men book, I'm going to be buying it. So, take a look at X-Men number 13 here, written by Jed MacKay. Got the Ryan Stegman covers. Some great covers on these X-Men comics recently. The Ryan Stegman covers have been awesome. And the Nitho Diaz interiors have been awesome too. So, this is part 4 of the X-Manhunt. I think like X-Factor and Storm, maybe NYX had parts 2 and 3. But I'm just going to be collecting this X-Manhunt series through these 2 X-Men titles. I'm not really picking up any other X-Men titles right now. So, yet another mutant homeland shattered. Yeah, that's sounds like the X-Men. But I've been loving Nitho Diaz's artwork. I was talking about Brett Booth earlier being one of my favorite working artists, but honestly, Nitho Diaz blows me away every time. Every issue, I think he just gets better and better. And I've liked him from the start. So when I first noticed him when he was doing the Daredevil Black Armor series, was when his stuff first stood out to me. I was like, this reminds me of kind of the stuff I grew up with in the 90s. It's kind of got that throwback style. It almost reminds me of Brett Booth's style, although I think he's kind of cartooning it up a bit more here in this X-Men title, working with Ryan Stegman. He's kind of drawing the characters like Stegman does a bit. But some real interesting looking pencils and inks on here for sure. These pages look really awesome, and they're done in a different style. The color is done on these two pages differently than in the rest of the book. I'm thinking because we're in the mind of these ultra powerful telepaths here. We got Kid Omega with this homage to the Mark Silvestri Wolverine cover. What was that? X-Men 151, I think it is. But yeah, some awesome artwork in this book. I've done reviews of every issue of this X-Men series as well, so go check those out if you haven't yet. Get X-Factor, this current X-Factor that just got canceled, showing up. I do like the kind of matching costumes. I always thought the X-Men looked better as a matching team like that. Last book I picked up, the only DC book, was Absolute Superman number 5. This is also a $4.99 comic book. Pretty awesome cover here by Rafael Sandoval. Superman burning in this destroying planet here with like his cape in the spot where his cape would be, I guess. So 2 issues ago, we left off on Krypton. And my favorite part of this Absolute Superman series has been everything going on in like flashback mode on Krypton here, as we're learning how Kal-El got off of Krypton and to Earth, while at the same time they're telling the story of Superman on Earth currently. So, but I love these flashbacks to Krypton. Like I said, it's my favorite part. I love all the world building that's been going on and the story that's being told. So, and in the previous issue, we were back on Earth in the current day, but it looks like here we're flashing back to Krypton and then getting a little bit more story, it looks like, here from current day. So, but I've done reviews of all of these issues so far, 1 through 4, so go check them out, along with Absolute Batman as well. So, and these are pretty much the only DC books I'm reading right now. I've been reading Justice League Unlimited, but I think I might be dropping it. Ooh, Sonic the Hedgehog DC crossover. That's cool. There we go. We got Krypton exploding. And there's Kal-El. So a little bit more to the story here of Kal-El leaving Krypton than the original Superman. He's a little bit older and a little bit, so some more stuff happened that he actually experienced and can remember. So, which I think is a nice addition, a nice change. So we see he loses his family, and he actually, since he's not a baby, he actually remembers his parents. He has a reaction to it, which, you know, influences this man that he's become. So he's Smallville, Kansas. He says home, which there's been hints of the fact that he does have a relationship with the Kents. So definitely interested to see where this is all going in Absolute Superman. I'll come out with a review of this for sure, coming out soon as well, as I will of all these comics. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I do post daily comic book reviews, and I'll see you guys on the next one.